I'm doing this a little bit late. I forgot that not yesterday. Tomorrow is gonna be Black Friday, and should have done a video before that, and I forgot. But here we are. Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Noah or Robot, whatever you want to call it, and welcome to another tech video. Because why not? But this one is a Black Friday special. Hopefully, if I edit this as fast as possible. So this is a video about the Black Friday event, which is tomorrow. I'm pretty much going to be showing the top 7 best laptops to buy on Black Friday. In my opinion, they're really good for the price point, at least. If you're interested in buying a laptop that's around of 1,000-ish, 1,200, less than that, something like that, then this is the perfect video for you. Also, yes, this is a video that shows laptops that are around of 1,200 and below. I feel like for that price point, you're kind of going towards there anyways. So, yeah. Also, a side note, I'm showing the prices and the laptop. Shipping prices or anything like that is not included. Now, starting off is with the Asus TUF Gaming A17. This is the most expensive laptop of the list. I believe is the most expensive. Okay, one of the 2 most expensive laptops on the list. It is also, overall, in terms of specs, a good laptop. We're talking about a 17.3 inches, 144 Hz Full HD, so 1080p screen, an RTX 4060, which is also the one with the most highest and strongest GPU on this one. It's an RTX 4060 with the highest wattage too. And also it's a AMD Ryzen 7 7735HS, which is essentially a really good 8-core processor, but since it's an HS, which means it's a more lower wattage version of the same processor. Overall, it's still not a bad processor for this laptop. It's also 16 gigs of DDR5 RAM and a 1 terabyte of NVMe SSD Gen 4. I believe with also upgradability option in this laptop. Overall, it's a good laptop. It's a big screen. It's a great GPU inside this laptop. Decent processor. Port-wise is also not bad. I believe we're talking about 2 USB Type A Gen 1 ports, another Type C Gen 2 ports, part of it, and I believe it supports for display out. Where is it? Display out. Does support for display out. And also a USB 4. In case you're asking, it's essentially like an open source version of Thunderbolt 4 or Thunderbolt 3. Of course, with some features being less, but 40 gigabits. Oh, and also HDMI 2.1 and an Ethernet port, because, you know, that's important. And an audio jack, because you're going to be playing games anyways. Now, back then, the Asus TUF series used to be the type of laptops I wouldn't really recommend because of some of the issues they had. They fixed most of the issues except for some very annoying things. So first of all, what I would recommend this laptop for also professional work like editing, yes and no. Hopefully you get another screen because while this laptop has a really great specs, it also has one of the meh. I really can't think of a word for a bad screen without saying it's bad, but it's not the greatest screen in the world. It's not even color accurate. The colors are playable, but not usable. They're not good. They're very bad in color accuracy. But you could use it for gaming. But if you're planning on doing something more like editing, professional work, definitely going to recommend a second screen. Other than that, this laptop has everything. I'm not sure about the upgradability though, but other than that, ports are great, performance are great. Overall, you get a really good, decent specs for the price point. If you want to get another screen in the future, you can just do that later. In my opinion, if you want the best for the price point, that might be it. Now, our second option on our list is going to be the MSI Katana 17. It's essentially an Intel version of the similar spec laptop, but there are a couple of differences. So first of all, it's Intel. It's a 13620H, which is essentially a 10-core processor, 6 performance core, 4 efficiency cores, which would say it's equal to or even maybe slightly better. Again, it really depends than the previous one, but not that much of a big deal. Again, it's a 4060 as well. Only difference is this is a lower wattage. It's an 105 wattage, which is lower, but still decent. It's also 32 gigs of the DR5 RAM compared to 16 gigs, but 1 terabyte and everything. Of course, there's another issue. So not only the screen is also, I mean, I don't think the screen is that good. Is it that good? I don't really remember that well. I believe the screen's maybe slightly better, but not that much. But the ports, we're talking about one USB Type-C Gen 1 port, display out at least, USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A ports, 2 of them, and a USB 2.0. I just want to remind you that MSI used to make good laptops with really good ports, and for some reason they decided to downgrade on the ports. HDMI 2.1, at least that's one thing, and an Ethernet port. But USB 2.0, at this time of age, USB 2.0 doesn't feel like a right choice. But again, at this price point, I guess, and also the increased internal specs, but the external stuff didn't really do that well. The other thing would be the upgradability. There is upgradability for this one. There is another M.2 connection for your SSD. Of course, MSI for some reason decided to forget about a locking system for the SSD. So let's just say this laptop was more like a failed attempt of making a laptop. So if you're looking for an Intel version with a more internally better spec-ish, then sure. Externally though, and some of the features, you would be quite disappointed. So there's that. But for the price point, I guess it's a good laptop. If you're planning to play games, and I mean literally just play games, sure. The third one on our list is the MSI Creator M16. And in case you're asking, yes, it's the exact same laptop as the Katana, but more towards creators. Port-wise, the exact same. Upgradability, I'm gonna say it's probably the same. I don't know if they fixed the issue at least. The only difference they changed, literally, is that it's a 1440p or more like 2560 by 1600 because it's a 16 by 10 aspect ratio, so that's good. Screen, so higher resolution with a more color accurate screen. This is actually, I believe this is the most color accurate screen on the list. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. And with a DCI-P3 of 100%, DCI-Pi, anyways, it's good. It's really good, at least for the screen scenario, because everything else is literally the exact same. You get the same ports, the same specs. I mean, you could move the screen a little more flat. That's another thing, I guess. But overall, it's the exact same thing as the previous one. You're not getting that much difference comparing to the previous one. It's like the more I read it, the more it's just similar. But I would recommend this more than the other one. If you're planning to do content creation as well, and might as well just get a second screen. If you're planning to get a second screen, I feel like this is a much better option-ish. Really depends on one person or another. For me, I would have gone with this guy more, especially for the screen. The screen, if you're planning to do videos or graphical designing or anything like that, anything related to just looks and screen resolution and everything, you're definitely gonna get a better option with this guy. Also, it's $100 cheaper, so it really feels like an immediate choice, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. Now, the fourth one on our list is gonna be the Asus VivoBook 16X. It's a 16-inch laptop, as usual. I don't know why most of the laptops here are higher than 16-inch, but I guess people are looking for that. And it's also the laptop with the most powerful CPU in the list. So it's 16-inch with a i9-13900H. So it's I believe it's a 14 cores. Yep, it's 6 performance cores with 8 efficiency cores. So it's total 14 cores. It's essentially the most powerful CPU out of all these laptops here. Of course, everything else is not as amazing as the rest. So you get a 16 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte of NVMe SSD, which is almost similar to the other ones, and a 4050 instead, which is still decent if you're planning to play games in some ways at 1080p 60 and all that stuff. It's decent, still decent, but it's not the most powerful GPU on the list. It's a good start. So overall, this laptop is more towards the most powerful CPU comparing to the rest of them. So there's that. It's also 16 by 10 aspect ratio, which is nice, but it's 1080p, which is for some people might be a little bit disappointed, I guess. For me, it's fine. It says here, doesn't it? Yeah, there you go. The ports are... Well, here's the thing about ASUS. They really don't tell you whether it's this or that, even if you search for the model. Because God knows what type of certification information ASUS is really good at doing. They're not that good. I have no clue what it is. Literally, it depends on the laptop. So you either get a USB Gen 1 Type-C port or a Thunderbolt 4. I have no clue. Similar USB Type-A ports, 2 USB Type-A Gen 1, an Ethernet port, HDMI 2.1, SD card, which is nice. Is it a micro? No, it's a full version. Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna put my money on the fact that this laptop is more towards photographers or people just using their cameras, going outside, taking their laptop with them. So definitely would recommend that for sure. And again, the CPU is great. The size of the laptop is nice. It's very nice. Even though it's a 16-inch, it's thin. It's very thin, so I like it. Overall, it's a good laptop from ASUS if you're planning to have something like this with a good processor and a still decent GPU. And you can even play games in this thing. I mean, it supports it. Not the best, but it definitely supports it. So recommend for those who want something thinner for work and for some gaming, occasional gaming if you want to. So definitely recommend it. Also, $1,029 or $30. Anyways, you get the point. Now, for the number 5, it's also the starting laptops that's under $1,000, which is the Acer Nitro 17. It's in AMD Ryzen 7 7840HS. Again, lower wattage and all that. But I believe this is a slightly better version than the other laptop, so that's interesting. With an RTX 4050, again, less than $1,000. Not really surprising. And a 17.3 inches 165 hertz display, so not bad on display. Probably not also color accurate as well, but you get the point. 16 gigs of DDR5 RAM, 1 terabyte of NVMe SSD. Essentially for $1,000, it's actually not a bad gaming laptop. Now, I really can't really tell you about one thing, which is the ports. And to be honest, remember how I was talking about bad things about ASUS on the specification stuff? Well, at least when they show it, they show it. Acer, not so much. For that price point, though, it's still not bad. I mean, even if you get a USB 2.0, this is actually my issue. Even if you get a USB 2.0, as long as you make sure that the other USB ports are very good, I don't mind it. Learn that, MSI. I'm literally trying to teach you. But even though there's a USB 2.0, they give you a 40 gigabit, a Gen 2 Type-C port that's 10 gigabits, and another 2 USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C port. Sorry, Type-A port, not Type-C ports. Bunch of USB ports are very fast. You really won't care about the USB Type-A port that's the USB 2.0 anyways with those ports. So, not bad. The port selection on the Acer one is very good. Wouldn't say it's the best, but not bad. There's even a micro SD card reader on this thing. Huh, interesting. So overall, it's not bad. It gives you the most things you need. You know, RGB keyboard, which is nice as well. And overall, for $1,000, you get a decent laptop. Again, it's not a 4060, it's a 4050. But for 165 hertz display, 1 terabyte, 16 gigs, and a good processor, you get a decent gaming laptop. Definitely recommend it if you're planning to play games and have a really good port selection. Would I recommend it for editing? No, not really. Would I recommend it for gaming? Yeah, definitely. Really powerful gaming laptop for a cheap price. Now, the number 6 on this list is going to be the one and only laptop that I actually have using it right now in front of my face. Yep. Which is the MSI Thin GF63. 63. It's a 15.6 inch. Oh, look at that. It's a smaller screen this time. 144 hertz screen. Laptop. It's 12 gen, so 12 650H CPU. I don't even need to see the thing. I remember. It's a good i7 processor for doing lots of things, especially editing. But it's, it's a decent CPU with an RTX 4050. 45 watts though, so remember that it's not the strongest 4050 in this list. It's one of the two. I mean, from the two, probably the lowest. The Acer one is the strongest one for sure. It's 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of NVMe SSD with the Type-C port, but I will get to the port in a bit. And overall, not a bad laptop, depending on the price point. So, because of experience, because I have the same laptop, even though it's $800 and it's also 500 gigs, just so you know, upgradability options, you only have a SATA drive, so you can either put a hard drive or a SATA SSD. Of course, I put a SATA SSD. It would make more sense. But no NVMe SSD. There is one, but it's being used right now as, the boot drive. The ports are definitely better than the Katana one for some reason. So there's 3 USB Type A ports, Gen 1 Type A ports, so 5 gigabit, and a Type-C port that's also sadly 5 gigabit with display out. So there's that one thing that they changed from the previous models. Dual audio jacks, one for the mic, one for the headphones. Not something you see these days. And overall, an Ethernet port and all that. Overall, it's not bad. If you're planning to play games mostly, you don't want something that's just crazy good, but you're just planning to just play games and that's it. Also, the HDMI port is a 1.4, so not 4K 60. So most because it's not connected to the GPU, is connected to the CPU. But yeah, it's not a bad laptop. I know I have the same laptop, but I do what I do. It works. It's a functional laptop for whatever you're planning to do, as long as it's not absurd or beyond what it's capable of. It's good. There's upgradability. The ports are better than the Katana one, and overall, it's not bad. And again, for $800, it's decent. It's decent. If you're planning, if it's because of the SSD, since it's 500 gigs, you have a SATA connection. You can put up to 2 terabytes of SATA SSD. That's literally what I did. So, definitely recommended. But not the best option, though. Last but not least is the LG Gram 14-inch. It's a 2-in-1 laptop, so it's a touchscreen laptop that can be folded like a tablet. It's a lightweight laptop. I mean, LG's Gram usually are, well, the lightest ones. So, there's that. It also has a 13 Gen i5 with the 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of SSD. If you're just planning to get a laptop for work or school, and also drawing if you're planning to draw, I would definitely recommend this laptop. It's small, it's decent, it's portable, even supports Dolby Atmos, which is not bad. It's very good build, and overall it's just not bad. The screen is actually, oh wow, the screen is actually not bad. It supports for DCI-P3 99%. Nice. I mean, again, I did recommend this for drawing, so if you plan to draw on this laptop, also recommended. Overall, it's a drawing or schoolwork laptop. If you're planning to do drawings on a laptop that's smaller but portable, recommended. If you're doing it for work or school and you don't need the best laptop in the world, just something that's portable and can be used in any ways, then definitely recommended for $800. And LG Gram is not bad. Port-wise as well, it's also not the best, but it's literally for a smallest laptop, so it makes sense. Not a bad ports. You could literally just get a USB hub. That's a really good one, or a Thunderbolt hub connected, and you get the best experience ever. So definitely recommend this laptop if you're just planning to use it for work or drawing. Of course, not great for gaming. There's no GPU on this one. It uses integrated GPU. But overall, it's a decent work portable laptop. I would recommend it. So that is it for today's episode of the tech videos. This is essentially the best laptops you can get for the Black Friday event. Personally, there's other options out there, But for me, I like these options. Lots of them are probably the best options you can get out there. One or two, maybe not that much. And yeah, I would recommend not to go to it unless you want something similar to it. So overall, really good options. Again, I will be putting every single laptop in the description down below if you guys want to check them out. Especially since it's tomorrow for the Black Friday. So you might want to check it out. But overall, not bad. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys liked it. If you guys want to see more, comment down below, share this video, give a like. I hope you guys have the great Black Friday event anyways, no matter what. And I hope you guys buy the best things you guys could buy. I had many plans, but I forgot the Black Friday is going to be tomorrow. So I forgot to do every single one of them. So at least this will be something, at least. So there's that. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Remember to subscribe, please. Give a like, share this video. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.